This is Module 7, Lesson 1 on your own. You can either find this online or you can find it on your book on page 209 and it starts on number 8. And on this one, it starts on number 1 if you're doing it online. It just does that because in your book, check understanding was 1 through 7. Okay. Rachel hits 1 home run every 40 times she bats. So we're going to complete this table. If you need to hit the hints, you most definitely can. The hints are a really good way to check to make sure you're on the right track or to help you steer in the right track. So our ratio is 1 to 40 because every 40 times she's at bat, she hits 1 home run. So the next time she's at bat, she gets 2 and then 3. So to get from 1 to 3, I multiply by 3. To get right here, we're going to do 40 times 3, which is 120. If I click on it, to get to the next row, we're at 4. So 40 times 4 is 160. And up here, we're in the 5th box. So we're going to times it by 5. 40 times 5 is 200. Let's check that out. We're good to go. Part B. We're going to use the table in Part A to write the percent of the time Rachel hits a home run after 200 times at bat. So we have 5 out of 200. The 5 on top, 200 on the bottom. And now we need to find the percent of that. So I'm going to open up my handy dandy work paper. And I have 5 over 200. And I'm just going to end up, I need to get the percent, so I'm going to divide it. So I have 5 divided by 200. 5 or 20, 200 does not go into 5. So I need to add a decimal and a 0. 200 does not go into 50. So I need to add another 0. 200 goes into 500 twice because 200 times 2 is 400. 500 minus 400 is 100. Since we have leftovers, we add another 0. We drop it down. 200 times 5 is 1,000. This is our decimal right here, but it asks for a percent. We're going to move it 2 times to the right. So I get 2.5%, which is not a very big percent there. Let's check it out. Okay, number 2, or if you're in your book, it's number 9. For number 9 in your book, you actually have to color. You don't get to choose which one. Here we get to choose. Compared to the money he made last year, Zach made 150%, 115% as much this year. So which grid shows 115%? So remember, one of these grids is 100. So it says 115. So I need to have one of them colored in because that represents 100. Then I need 15 more. So I'm looking at this one right here because this is 100, 10, 15. So 115%. So if you're doing it in your book, you need to color in one whole box and then 15 on the next one. Did he make more or less money than last year? He made more money than last year. Let's head to the next one. This is number 3. In your book, it will be number 10. Ryan got 36 out of 40 questions right on a test. Tessa got 92% on the same test. Who got a better score? So let's change it all to the same things. We're going to change them to percents because the drop-down boxes have percents. So we're going to change this 36 out of 40 into a percent. And to do that, I'm going to do 36 divided by 40. Excuse me. So it's 36 divided by 40. 40 does not go into 36, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. 4 times 40 times 9 is 360. This is a decimal. To get it to a percent, we move it 2 times to the right. 1, 2. So our decimal's here. In this blank, we have a 0, so 90%. Ryan got a 90%. Tessa got a 92. So Tessa got a better score because Ryan got a 90%. Tessa got a 92. And 92 is greater than 90. Number 4 or 11 if you're in the book. Which ratios are equivalent to 75%? In the book, they just had you write 3 ratios that are equivalent to 75% and then 3 that are equivalent to 100%. So let's take a look. I know that this one is. I know that this one is, and this one. If you want to check the hint, um, one of them is that the part will be less than the whole, so the first number needs to be smaller than the second number. And then you can find ratios to do that. Another way, I know that the 200 to 200 and 50 to 50 aren't right, and the 2 to 2 aren't right because they're both the same numbers. And then the other 3 are not right because the first number is larger, and we need the second number larger. Okay, now we're looking for the ones for 100. To be 100, it has to be the exact same number on both sides. Okay, we're on number 5. In your book, it's number 12. These next 6 are straightforward problems of write each number as a percent. So let's get out our work page here. You can choose to turn the bottom number into 100 or you can just divide. So I'm going to choose just to divide on this one because I have 3 over 24. And I can't easily get 24 to be 100. So 3 divided by 24. 24 does not go into 3, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. 24 goes into 31 times. 30 minus 24 is 6. Add a 0, drop it down. 24 goes into 60 because that is 48. 60 minus 48 is 12. Add a 0, drop it down. And lastly, 24 times 5 is 120. Our decimal is 0.125. To change it in percent, we're going to move it 2 times to the right. So I go 1, 2. So I get 12.5% as my answer here. Next. This one is a very straightforward one. It's already a decimal, so I'm going to move the decimal to the right 2 times. I go 1, 2, and I get 95%. Number 7. Okay, we're going to write the number as a percent. We haven't seen one where you have a whole number in front of it, but you're just going to not worry about the whole number. We're just going to take our decimal, move it 2 times to the right. So I go 1, 2. And so the decimal's behind the 7, so I have 837%. That's like someone getting a lot of bonus points. Number 8, we have a mixed number. We haven't done a mixed number yet. And so with a mixed number, I have the 6 in front. We're going to leave the 6 as is. We just need to remember to put them in later, so I'm going to square them. And we're going to look at my 1/5. You can choose to do 1 divided by 5, or we can make that 5 into 100. So 5 times 20 is 100. If I multiply by 20 on the bottom, I have to do that on top. So 1 times 20 is 20. So I have 20%, but I need to remember that 6, which is going to go in front of that 20. So you get 620%. You could have also divided it. When you would have done that, you would have got a 0.2, and you just move your decimal. It does not matter which way you do it, whichever way that works best for you. Number 9, 70 over 50. You can choose to divide this, or you can change that bottom number to 100, because I can easily change 50 to 100 by multiplying by 2. If I multiply by 2 on bottom, I'm going to multiply by 2 on top. 70 times 2 is 140, which is 140%. I know this number down here needs to be 100 because percents are out of 100. So I get 140 right here. Number 10. This one's a decimal already. So I just need to move it 2 times to the right to get a percent. So I go 1, 2, and I get 34.0. But I can really drop that 0 off because that 0 is not doing anything for us. Number 11. In your book, it's number 18. Ricardo threw rings over bottles in a ring toss competition. The diagram shows the number of bottles Ricardo got rings around. We're going to write a ratio of the number of bottles with rings. So let's count how many bottles have rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know the 12 is going to go first because it asked the bottles with rings first. And then the total number of bottles. 5, 10, 15. So 12 over 15. We got the 12 because that's the amount of bottles that have rings on it, and the 15 because that's the total number and that's what it told us to do. Okay, let's head to B. Ooh, that number line's big. Complete the double number line. So we have 3, 6, 9. We're going to put a 12 right here. 20, 40, 60, and we're going to get an 80 here. Okay, what percent of the bottles have rings on them? So we said 12 had rings on them, and that is 80%.